Hey, first grade families, I wanted to make a quick video so that I could explain your child's red bag, okay? So every student went home with a red bag today, and inside the red bag is a red folder and some books. So I wanted to explain the red folder really quickly. There are some directions inside on the first page or the second page, but I wanted to explain a little bit more so you could understand what to do. So I know this is backwards when I'm trying to read this, but this is our red folder, read every day. So every child has one with their name. And then there are some directions for each section of the folder. There's about four parts to this folder: letter naming and nonsense words, sight words, foundation stories, and then the leveled books are not in the folder, but they're in the bag. So leveled books would look like, example, like this. And every student would have something different because I'm trying to match their ability level. So these leveled books won't all be the same. So going through each section of the folder, and then these are some sample reading questions to ask them after they've read a story. You don't have to ask them all, just pick a couple of them. And then in this sleeve is your reading log. When you pull it out, there are 5 pages, and these are numbered so that you know when you get to 100, okay? And the other thing to remember about writing down titles is that it doesn't matter so let's say your child reads this book today, write it down. They read the same book again tomorrow, write it down again. Doesn't matter how many times they read it, if they've actually read it, write it down. Now, you don't have to just use the books that are in the bag or the stories that are in this folder. You can use books that you have at your house for the reading log as well. But please, please, please keep this reading log in the sleeve in the folder so that it does not get lost. This will be your reading log for Mr. B's book club, and should be kept in this folder so that we can keep up with it. It's numbered by 10s so that you'll know when you actually get to 100 and you don't have to recount. So there you go. So that's in there. Then once you get past the reading log, the next section is not in sleeve protectors. These are pages of sight words, and you'll notice that they are in sets. It goes from set 1 all the way over to set 20, and each set has 2 rows of sight words. Just practice reading these words. Have your child practice them. Some of them you can sound out, some of them you cannot. So the ones that need to be memorized, make flashcards, let them practice them outside, write them into dirt, build them with Legos, whatever helps your child practice, just practice. And then each week, we will ask them to read a set. If they know them, we will highlight them. If they don't, it'll be left alone, and you'll know that they need to practice that word. But please don't mark on this. Just use it to help them practice so you know which words to practice, and work on one set at a time. If your child's fluent, move on. If they're not and they need to stay on a set a little bit longer, that's okay. Everybody will be at their own pace, okay? Then the next little section has your nonsense words and letter name and fluency. They're labeled by the month. This goes from October to March. So there's 1 page for each month. Just focus on 1 page, okay? So this page has your nonsense words. Remember, all of the vowels will be short in these because they're CVC words, consonant, vowel, consonant. And then on the back, you've got letters. They just got to be able to tell them to you. They need to be able to do 60 letters in a minute. They don't have to tell you the sound, just the letter. So they need to go quickly. Put their finger on it and go K, A, T, Z, L, and so on, okay? Just practice a little bit each day. So there's another one for November all the way through to March. So you have a page for each month. The last section of the folder is the foundation stories. There's one for each unit, from unit 3 all the way to unit 14. Each story is listed on a row, and then there's a box for you to have them read it 3 times. So before you move to Unit 4 story, you need to make sure they've read Unit 3 story 3 times. And when they get to words that they don't know, have them tap them out. If they are still struggling, you can go ahead and tell them the word so that they don't struggle, and then initial and date that they've read it. These stories can also be listed on your book log for Mr. B's Book Club. The stories are behind this page. There's Unit 3. We've read this one in class. If your student is fluent and they are reading well, you can move on. But don't move on to the next story until they've read each one 3 times. So I would have them read Codfish 1 time, date and initial, 2, 3, and then you can move on to Unit 4. This last box is for me to listen to them, so I know that they are fluent with that story. So please make sure they are reading it. Okay, and then the last part that's not in the folder would be your leveled books. Each student will have 2. If your child's ready for chapter books, then they'll have a chapter book that they can keep until they're finished with it, and then that one can be listed as chapters for Mr. B's Book Club. Each chapter can be listed as a book. Okay, so just work a little bit in this each night. I told the kids today, even if you just have 5 minutes, work a little bit in this folder instead of them picking up a device or watching TV. Have them read. Get their red folder out and let them practice those nonsense words. Let them practice those sight words. The more they do with this, the better reader they will become. And then on Friday, send this back. And then between Friday and Monday, we'll listen to them read one of their books and check their sight words, and then we'll send it back again on Monday, or perhaps Tuesday if I don't get finished listening to everybody. If you have any questions, please let me know. Just message me in rooms. And again, remember that you're not working through this whole folder in one night or 1 week. This is going to last for this year. If your student is really fluent and we need to look at something more challenging, we will look at that. If you see that a book is too difficult, write me a note, let me know, and I'll trade those books out. Or the opposite, if it's too easy, write me a note and we'll trade those books out. So I hope this helps with practicing reading each night. And again, if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks. Have a good night.